that shit. And we would just play basketball. We just tell each other, yo, just keep your eyes open. Because we had no supervisors. That's the thing. Is like, us growing up when we were little, we had no, like, well, you had your father. Yeah, my father. But we didn't have, like, really, we had older guys in the block who were doing way worse than us.
Fuck yeah.
Who were, like, our adult mentors
Yeah.
to look up to. We didn't have someone telling us about life.
Yeah.
And even if we had our parents didn't want to tell us the bad thing. They always wanted to, like, they want you to do good but not tell you.
Yeah.
Like, they want to be like, oh, yo no hice eso. And stuff like that. After a while, you start putting other puzzles together. You're like, what? This motherfucker did this.
Yeah.
You know, or you talk to an uncle. The uncle be like, oh, he used to do this. What? Dad?
Yeah.
Yeah, he used to do this.
Yeah.
And it's funny because we were talking about that this weekend, like with my moms and my sister. We were talking about like how you find out bad news sometimes, not bad news or certain news about your parents. Sometimes it be someone else. Like you can find out you have another brother for your uncle.
Oh man!
Like so that's just the way it goes. Like sometimes your parents don't tell you.
Yeah, of course.
What happens is a lie that's been thinking, and the truth slips out
somehow.
So, yeah, man, just going back in those days, it got crazy. I remember just playing basketball. They threw a 10-speed from the roof to us.
I would never go play basketball.
Mind you, we were like fucking 14. Like the beef wasn't even that real. Like it wasn't that real. And the bad thing with me was I was cool with certain guys from that block.
Okay.
And it's fucked up to say. I think it was more of a Spanish and black thing because the kids that were living there were mostly black. I was cool with a lot of them from playing basketball. And they were cool. Like later on, like we all made truce. Like we were all cool. But because of that, I think there was a beef. You know what I'm saying? And it was mostly starting the Spanish side because it's more Spanish than...
You guys are the West Side Story.
Yeah, no.
Like to live in America.
Yeah, because I think that's what happened. So like we became like... Later on we became cool. I was cool with a few of them. But it's like I couldn't really tell the other guys like, yo, he's mad cool. And I was cool with them because I used to play basketball.
Yeah.
So I would have to play with them, you know, sooner or later. But
damn,
it's just crazy. Like nowadays, like I said, you think about it. Even like me playing basketball, like playing certain blocks was different cliques. So when I would play with Hector and them, because Hector was nice. Hector was better than me in basketball back then.
Gotcha.
And I would play with them.
The barber?
Hector the barber was nice.
With the ball?
Crossover and everything.
He's nice with balls.
Look, I'll tell you, Hector was nice because when I used to play basketball, in like around my areas, the 170s. When you go to junior high school, you start meeting people for 180s. And then when you're playing in junior high school, I'm playing basketball against the people for 180s. So I'm like, oh shit, some of these guys are good. So then someone will tell you, yo, want to go play ball, come to 184. You start playing with them and you're like, oh shit. So I used to play a lot in 182nd in that school. Between St. Nick and Fort Washington. Down the block of Lucky 7.
St. Nick?
You know where Lucky 7 is at?
Yeah.
There's a school there. I think it's called 182.
Yeah.
I used to play basketball there against Hector, my boy Juan, who was from my class, and some of the guys from their block. I used to play them. And Hector was always the best from all of them.
Gotcha. So
me and Hector would play we'll be playing till nighttime. And like sometimes I would beat him and sometimes he'll beat me, but Hector was really, really good. Shit. And that's how I know Hector. Before he was cutting hair and all that stuff. But yeah, it's just crazy. Like I said, some of those days we all had different cliques and stuff like that, or different peoples that we were friends. I mean, even when I met Al was my work friend.
Yeah.
That I knew him as work, but then we really hang out outside until like later on.
Yeah.
We started hanging out. But before that, or even I used to have another diameter. So I used to hang out with Richie's block, but then I started hanging out Anthony's block, was a totally different vibe.
Oh yeah, I used to hang out I used to go with your cousin.
So then I used to hang out in his block and know his friends.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I would chill there. And stuff like that. And sometimes like when that block would be dead, I was like a user. I would then chill with Richie's block.
Gotcha.
Because when I was young, I mostly hang out at Anthony's block. And then after Anthony's block, I went to Richie's block. Started getting better. It started getting better, so I would hang out because Richie's block we had 178. Then we had Steven and all of them.
Okay.
Reggie, Steven's brother, 177. Even them was like a little cliquish. Like we didn't fuck with them that much. Like Andy and them.
Yeah.
Like they were cool, but they were from across the street. So they did their own hangueo, like in the corner. And you notice, like, I don't know if you noticed that. A lot of your hangueo is based on the bodega you chilling.
Yeah.
So we chilled in the bodega between 178 and between Audubon and Amsterdam. They chilled in 177 Audubon.
The one in between.
No, the one in the corner right there, 177. That was their bodega. So if you go there, if I wanted to go, I didn't never want to go there, but like there's certain candy that they had there.
Yeah.
So I would go like, oh, see what's up, yo, what's up, fellas. But we always went to our one, which was there. Isn't that crazy? Do you have that too?
We had two bodegas in my.
So that bodega took both 159, 160.
No, well, we had two bodegas in 160.
Okay.
So we never had to go to like.
Did they have their own?
Who 159
Yeah.
or whatever? 159 had the liquor store in the corner that we needed to go. But then the Octoberfest opened a smoke shop in between 159 and 160. So both blocks used to meet there. The only reason was because he had the cool arcade games.
Yeah.
So it was, you know how some smoke shops are smaller. It's just you go in, you got the chips, the newspaper.
Yeah.
And then you could go a little bit to the cooler. This one had like all that and it was bigger and it had like 4 or 5 machines.
Yeah.
And we were like, holy shit, this guy took it to a whole different level. So there, it was either 159 will hang in there, or then my friends will go and we hang in there. And if we see that they're there, we will just walk away.
Yeah.
Because we knew we were going to fucking beef. And
you ever gone by yourself?
Yeah.
And then $159 is there.
Yeah, and I had to leave.
You trying to get that shit cool.
And I had to leave because I was there with my younger brother. I was like, he ain't gonna do shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we've had fights in the middle of the 159, 160.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm like, shit. If I get into a fight right now, I think I'm too old for that shit. Like,
bro,
some dude will hit me in the stomach and I'm going down for the count. Like, I can't breathe.
Yeah.
I can't breathe.
Yeah.
I don't think I can fucking fight anymore like I used to back.
I think if you're drinking.
Oh, when you're drinking.
Yeah.
But you think you could swing, but you really not.
But like, I think it's just the adrenaline and stuff gets to you. And stuff.
Not when you were younger. When you were younger, you feel like you could lift up a car.
Yeah, man, that is fucking true.
But no, man,
you can lift up a girl.
Oh.
Now you're like, baby, stop playing.
Baby. ¿Para qué tú quieres que yo te levante?
Stop playing, baby, stop playing.
We're bed.
Quítate.
So yeah, man, it was.
You can't even tell them to quítate because they're like, oh, you're telling me I'm fat.
Oh man. Don't even get me started with that. That's a conversation for something else.
Yeah, no. But yeah, man, it's crazy. Like I'm sure you people listen to the podcast probably grew up with 2 sets of friends. Like I said, maybe some friends who were into some of the hobbies that you like, toys,
some people like
some
rock,
of the cartoons.
Some people like hip hop.
Yeah,
and you probably
or different blocks, like certain blocks you chilled with, because that's what we kind of grew up with.
Yeah.
Or even like, you know, there's some people who have the same thing with, you know, we got our work friends and then we have our like friends that we act a little different.
And it's weird because when you say, yo, I'm gonna go chill with my friends, and then you invite your other friends to see if they combine.
It gets weird. It gets a little bit weird.
You're the common denominator.
Because you hope it works out.
Yeah.
You hope it works out. Like I've been lucky because I've had a lot of friends of mine. I've connected a lot of people.
Yeah.
And also vice versa. Albert's family is my family through Albert. And, you know, he was the one that introduced that. And I've had a lot of my friends that I introduced to Albert from me and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's
sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, no, sometimes it doesn't because, like I said, there's been sometimes with certain co-workers that you're like, you act a certain way with them, and if you're hanging out outside the office and you got your real friends, you're like, oh, man.
I can honestly
you're like, I can't say nigga in front of this person.
Yeah. And I can honestly say that all of your friends that you have introduced me to, I've clicked with them. It's not like it's never been weird.
You get along with everybody.
Yeah. And even when you
even one with Joe,
oh my
crazy
goodness,
Boston Joe.
oh yeah, I got along with that.
Yeah.
But even if you don't hang out and they tell me, "Yeah, we're gonna go out," I will still go out, and we still gonna get along. So
Yeah.
but it doesn't work like that all the time. It really doesn't work. But before we close this show, people, I want to give a special shout out because 2 days ago it was International Podcast Day on September 30th.
Yes.
So
Forgot
I
to
want
mention that.
to give a shout out to everybody who listens to podcasts and everybody who has a podcast. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep powering it through. I try to listen to as many podcasts as I can. I try to promote our podcast as much as I can. But it was International Podcast Day. I don't know if they mean international by meaning like bilingual or just in regard all.
No, I think it's just global.
So yeah, man.
Because my company posted something like that too.
It was on September 30th. I didn't know to one of our friends.
His Mother Goose.
And then even when I started posting that, other podcasters were like, "Oh, I like what you put. I'm gonna start following you. I'm definitely gonna listen to your show." And I do the same. I like listening to what other people talking about because so many podcasts out there that we're all talking about different things. I don't think I've heard one podcast sound the same to other ones. So our podcast is not the same to probably the one Lee's listening to, like Joe Rogan or Joey Diaz. But we listen to them, to other people like that, we could get an idea of what we're gonna do with ours. It's just like I hope one day somebody's listening to our podcast and go, "Damn, these two fucking goofballs, motherfuckers who grew up in New York are just talking about bullshit and they've made it happen." Like I've told people who want to start podcasts, just talk about something you like. I had a guy ask me, we were in the mall just talking, he was like, "Yo, I'm into photography." I was like, boom, you already got a podcast right there.
Yeah.
Talk about anything, your hobby, photography. Talk about the lens. Talk about what you need to do. Like what makes you look at something and you go, "Damn, that's gonna fucking be a good picture," or "That's gonna be a dope whatever." If you like sneakers, talk about sneakers. Or if you fucking like porn, that'll be my next podcast, talking about porn. But yeah, man, if you're always thinking about, "Damn, it's hard to do a podcast," it's
not, man.
Just do it.
It's not. If you guys, any of our friends or any of our listeners, if you guys have any questions on how to start a podcast, just DM us and we'll give you as much information as we can.
Yeah.
It's not hard. It's just about doing it, man. So me and Al, we talked about it for a while, and we were like, "Yo, January next year, we're doing it no matter what." And we figured it out. So it's not complicated. We do this for fun. I have a lot of friends who ask me, "Yo, if you're doing it for money and stuff like that."
No.
Nah, if you do it for money, man, it's hard. But I'm not saying you can't do it. You could do it, but you have to spend a lot of time promoting it.
Yeah.
But if you want to do it for fun, and it's just a conversation, like if people have certain hobbies they want to talk about, let's say it's movies. You want to talk about movies, like new movies, new TV shows, or wrestling, or football one, or baseball, whatever. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I listen to like a wide range, a lot, like as Albert said, like comedy ones like Joe Rogan, Joey Diaz. For interviews, I listen to celebrity ones to hear like, some of the celebrity news. I've listened to wrestling ones.
Yeah.
Now that fantasy football, I listen to some of those. I listen to even positive stuff like motivational ones. I listen to Tony Robbins. There's different ones.
Bruce Lee daughter has one, and it's called "What Would Bruce Lee Do?" And I
listen
to
matter of
that
fact, and this is like people just giving you like kind of the big kind of give you the heads up before it comes out, because I just kind of heard this at work. LeBron James is doing a podcast.
Really? Oh my God!
Yeah,
what is
so
he not getting into?
I overheard it because I work at Pandora. He's doing an exclusive podcast. I don't know if it's exclusive to Pandora or Sirius XM.
Okay.
Part of Sirius. But yeah, he's gonna have his own podcast.
There you go.
So
he wants to get in the podcast business. And what do you think he's gonna talk about?
It's mostly about basketball
and all the shit he's trying to push. Like like I do watch his shop,
the barber shop
on HBO, and they sit down and they talk about fucking things that do happen now. Like I think in his show, the new episode, he has the governor of